Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video will be a bit different than what you are used to because the end result is not at all the house that I am showing here throughout the video, and I filmed at night, so there is a light source above my head and I hope that it won't bother you that much. But I am using all Fawn stuff, the Build a House Christmas add-on, the Yeti or not, and then the large cross-stitched rectangle Stackables. So first of all, this rectangle is out of Strathmore Bristol Smooth because I'm going to do some Noline coloring. So therefore I took my Fadeout Noline coloring ink from Ink on 3 and stamped out these two Yetis from Yeti or not from Fawn. And then it was time to color everything in, so therefore I'm using 036 light blue and 302 haze blue thick clean color wheel brush marker. So what I'm doing when I'm doing Noline coloring is that I go around the edges with my thick clean color wheel brush marker, and then I take a damp paintbrush and I drag the colors towards the middle of the image. And this I do a few times, so I let everything dry. And then I go back in with the color, again dragging it out until I am happy with the layering and the depth that is created by it. In this case, I will only add 2 layers in total. So after coloring everything in, I decided to continue with the background. So therefore I first had to make some masks for these Yetis. I kept my Yetis in the same spot on my stamping tool. You will see the meaning for that later on. And I stamped them out using Memento Tuxedo black ink on some full stick post-it notes. And then I fuzzy cut it out, but that part I'm not showing because it took too long to show. So here I adhered my masks. and then I decided to continue with a snowy hill where the house is standing on. So therefore I'm using this Drift and Hills stencil from My Favorite Things and some Tumbled Gloss Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just blending the upper edge of the hill. So I'm having this piece of paper to first dab off the excess ink that I have on my blending brush, and then I go to my panel. So next up I wanted to do the sky, so therefore I first had to create a mask for the snowy hill. So therefore I took my Inkadinkadoo stamp masking paper and I lined off the stencil on top of it with a pencil, and I cut it out as well and adhered it on top of my panel. And then I took Victorian velvet to ink up the sky, and the first idea was to ink it up and have like a glow from behind the house, but that didn't work out as I wanted it to. So I took my cloud stencil from My Favorite Things to add some clouds throughout the sky using the same Victorian Velvet Distress Oxide ink. And as soon as I was finished with this blending, I saw that the color combination did not work, in my opinion, with the house that I created beforehand. So I recreated a house. Therefore, I took some Neenah Solar White 110 cardstock and I die cut all the pieces from the house out of it, and then I blended on some aged mahogany and mild lavender on top of the pieces so that I could have a matching house with the background. So next up I am making the face of the Yetis visible. So therefore I decided to, instead of masking the stamp, which you could not see when I am filming, I masked off the Yeti, except for the face, on top of my panel. And then I took Memento Tuxedo black ink and stamped it out. And this way the face was with black and the rest was covered so that it could not get any ink on top of the Yeti. Something to keep in mind, although, is that the purple tape will not absorb the ink, so the ink stays wet on top of it, and I made some spots on my card panel because the ink got transferred onto my fingers and then I touched my panel, and this way I smeared it on some places, so I fixed it afterwards, but just something to keep in mind. So here is my first smear of Memento Tuxedo black ink on the hill, but I'm gonna fix it because the house is going to be on top of it. And now I smeared it again. But I'm fixing it partially with this eraser for ink, but not fully, so I am going to cover it later on. So now it was time to see where I was going to stamp the sentiments. I decided to stamp them in the same color as the details on the house, so with aged mahogany, Distress Oxide ink. and I used my grit on my stamping tool to see whether everything was aligned straight. And then I could adhere the house. So therefore I am using the big Momma foam tape roll from Simon Says Stamp. I am a big fan of it because the height of it is not that large, so it is lifted from the card panel but not that much, and I really like that. There are a lot of people who say it's difficult to get the backing of it, and yes, I struggle with it also, but in the end result is the most important, and I don't mind fiddling with backings as long as the result is there. So just keep it in mind if you are contemplating whether you should buy it or not. I really like the height of it, and it's a really big roll, so you will get a lot use out of it, but you need to decide for yourself. Then to cover up some smudges there, I decided to stamp out some snowflakes from the same stamp set Yeti or Not from Fawn. And this I did again with the H Mahogany, so that everything would be in the same ID, same line. So I'm switching between the different snowflakes, and I'm trying to scatter it as much around as possible. And then the only thing that was left to do was adhering it onto a card base, an American sized card base, but that I will not be showing because this video is long enough. But I really hope that you like the card design. It was not what I intended at first, but I just kept going, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye!